that's one of those things. I think when you learn your gifts, like you were saying, now what are you doing with them?
Yeah.
Because if we're not doing anything with them, then it doesn't really matter if we learned them or not.
Yeah, that made me just think I better do something with that. Better put that on my list.
Yeah.
What are we doing with it?
Yeah. So.
So was there anything else? I know we talked about it at the beginning, but anything else that you learned about your about Mercy? If there's anything more to that, yeah.
Did you put something in place? Maybe did you put something in place that you had not done before because of reading that?
Ooh, that's a good
Or change something about yourself?
Well, I'm a teacher. And so mercy comes a lot. No,
Yeah.
but I did. I had specific students in my class this year at the beginning that were very just in need of a lot of things, and so I just intentionally started. I pray at their desk every week. Not with them, obviously. I'm in public school, but I pray over their desks. I pray for them, and I invest in their in them by just speaking good things to them. And there's 3 of them, and I have just kind of poured that into that, because I feel like sometimes we confine it in the church, which is not really where it needs to be, because the church is already in a place, a lot of people in the church are already in a place of knowledge, of those things, and I can't explain God.
Right.
But my class obviously knows that I'm a Christian. They know my husband's a pastor, so one day it might click that the reason she treated me differently was because of who she followed.
Who she was, that's right.
And when that clicks, I feel like it will be valuable to them. But I do have one little girl that I feel like has just completely embraced it.
Blossomed.
And she was one I thought, oh my, I don't really know what to do for this little girl.
Yeah.
And so I think that it was definitely one of those things where, God has shown me just these little things and this connection, and it was going to her soccer game, and it was, taking time out of my day aside from the time that I spend with her in a classroom.
Yeah.
And, and then she wrote her speech, and one of her things was that she wanted to fix her teacher's turtle world, because she knows I love turtles. And so she wrote her whole speech about littering and how we all need to pick up after ourselves so that we can save her favorite teacher's turtle world.
Oh,
so to me that was beautiful.
That was an affirmation for you, wasn't it?
It was, and of course she was very proud of it, and but it was in the same respect, that she didn't just say my favorite teacher. She knew about me.
Yeah.
She took the time to know about me, and I think that was also God showing me, that other people are pouring into me, because
Well, I commend you, because sometimes teachers, they don't mean to do it on purpose, but sometimes when you have that student that just rubs you the wrong way, or that just you can't connect with, they just kind of go and throw their hands up. And I think when you make the extra effort,
it goes back
show.
to that empathy. We know it's coming from something way more than me.
Yeah.
It's not me that they have a problem with. You know what I mean?
It's not something in the world
Yeah.
that
No.
you
Right.
just fix for them.
Awesome.
So
Good job.
Yep.
Good job, Crystal.
Yeah.
So was there anything that you gave the ladies to so they could do their best with giving their mercy gift, and what are like the pitfalls of mercy showing?
Okay. So well, there were some flags that she like laid out in the book, and you can't be all things to all women.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I say, you put up those boundaries of what you can, because your family and your spouse and your, other women or your kid, whatever it is, need your time and attention. And it's very easy that when you start pouring into people, those people will call every day, and those people will text, and you want to continue to do that. You want to be what they need you to be, but you also have to set those boundaries in order to not take away from everything else in your life,
Yeah.
As you need your time with God, you need your time with people, being a problem solver, which a lot of mercy showers are, can quickly encroach on your family time, your worship time, and your personal walk. So, you know, you don't need to solve everyone's problems. That's not what mercy showing is.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing, you know, sometimes we want to pay that bill and we want to, you know, do those things. We want to show up. We want to tell them all the things that they need to do in their marriage or tell them all the things.
Yeah.
And that's not what God's asking us to do. He's asking us to just listen. He's asking us to pray for them. He's asking us to send scripture to them. He's asking us to ultimately point them to Him.
Yeah.
And so we have to be careful not to be, you know, not to try to be the God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we can't be the one that solves it. And you know, I tell people this about their children all the time. If you solve all their problems or you go before them and try to fix everything before it gets to them, then you're teaching them that they don't need God.
Right.
Because He's the problem solver.
Yeah.
And He's the one they need to be going to. Mommy can't save everything.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's a hard
Also,
lesson.
Women in general,
Yeah.
we like to fix
We just
it,
are,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Mhm.
fixers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some help is not asked for. So don't place yourself where God hasn't led you. Because that's just being a busybody. And so sometimes, you know, we have to be careful that people are not always asking for our advice. They're not always asking for help. And they're not asking us to interject ourselves into everything. So we have to be careful to only go where we're asked.
Right.
And then make sure your mercy showing is pointing to Him, which we've
Yeah.
talked about. Truth sets us free,
Mm.
not opinions.
True.
So, yeah, that's a hard one to swallow
It is.
sometimes. Yes.
It's a hard thing to say sometimes, too. Truth.
Mr. Zeb says all the time, you know, what's not in the Bible, your opinion. So, you know, I mean, so it's very true. And then your gift is not everyone's gift. So don't get caught in your emotions or fault people that don't have the same compassions as you do. You know, that's the cool thing about this is we learn that all of us that were working together, we all had different gifts.
Yeah.
And here we are all working together. So then we're able to touch, you know, 9 different, you know, groups of people because we all weren't mercy showers.
Yeah.
And so, but I can't fault you because that might not be your top gift, that you're not going to do it the
Right.
way I would do it. And then say, well, why wouldn't that person have just done that? Like, why wouldn't,
Yeah.
why didn't they call him? Why didn't they? Because that's not
That's
their gift.
not their gift.
And so, and God didn't intend it to be their gift.
Yeah.
And so, you know, He intended it to be yours. So instead
Right.
of worrying why this person didn't do it, you should just go do it.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know, that's kind of one of those
Yeah.
things. So,
Yeah.
yep. So, and I thought it was nice to see those flags because it was very easy, just like you just did when as I was saying them. Oh yeah, like you can see how those things so quickly
Yeah.
would snowball into something that was negative instead of positive.
And I think all the gifts kind of showed that, you know, some pitfalls.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to recognize those, you know. So
Yeah.
that's good. That was good.
I think there's always a very clear thing of like, oh, this is a good thing to do or not do, or this is a bad thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having all these spiritual gifts kind of show us, okay, so these good things fit into this gift. These bad things fit into that gift. You know, like, we all can point to something and be like, oh yeah, that was a good idea, or a good feeling to have towards somebody or something. But if we can put it into mercy, we can be like, okay, so that person's going to be good at doing that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And they even, in the book, she even gives you things to look for in, like, girls
Younger
coming
people,
up.
yeah.
You know, young
To
women
bring
coming
them
up
in it.
to where you see these things and you think,
Yeah.
and so you can point out them to that gift. And I thought that was kind of cool because then as you're reading them, you're thinking, oh yeah, I know this girl, she does do that a lot, you
Yeah.
know. And so then you can kind of go to them and say, hey, I've seen you doing this and this, and, you know, I just wanted to let you know, maybe you should look into the mercy showing and you know, learn about it because that might
Yeah.
be something that you can, you know, a gift
Yeah.
God's given you, so.
Yeah, and we're hoping that some of the ladies that have done the test are going to go and listen. I know there's a couple that have listened to what we're doing and they've been very interested in it. And then there's some more women that are interested in doing the test.
Yeah.
And so then they can go back and look and see, okay, that where's the one that I am,
Yeah.
so I can
Yeah.
hear what it is. And that's why we so
Right.
wanted to do it this way. You know, Jen and I could have talked about it, but it came so much better from somebody that is that person
Yes.
and that can also share what you shared
Yeah.
and you know, glean more from it.
And there's
I
so
think.
much, like I didn't even probably pull,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
2/3 of it, but it was very, you know, it was very good, and of course the book I felt like was very good at explaining it all
Yeah.
and making you feel like it wasn't so overwhelming. There were things you could do right now,
Right.
and there's things that you can work towards,
Yeah.
you know, that you're gonna do. So I thought that was good too. It wasn't all like, okay, well I can't do any of that right now, so I guess I can't do
It can't
this.
be
You know
mercy.
what I mean?
I can't do
so-
mercy. Yeah,
so,
no mercy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thinking way back to the event, what did you like about it overall, and what was something that stuck out to you during the whole entire event?
I thought it was kind of exciting to see a lot of the women come in and be excited about what their gift was. You know, so they would come in and they would sit down, and like I said, a couple of them were just like I was. We were like, I didn't think this was my gift, you know. But then when I started talking about it, it was like they had this, you know, it was an affirmation for them that yes, you know, you can step into this, you know, and it was also interesting because there were so many different churches to hear how each one of them did things that because we had like a share out part in that they could say, you know, what they were doing that they felt like was part of their gift, and things that they thought they might go and do. And so a lot of them, it was kind of neat to hear some of the things other churches were doing that were already, you know, putting some of these things into play, and then some of them that were like, man, we're not doing any of that, and but I've got it all written down, and we're gonna get to it, you know. And so but it was also very much like I don't have to have a whole group of people to get this started. Like I can start writing cards to people. I can start, you know what I mean, doing things that are intentional. And I think that that's the piece, is just being intentional in it. And then, you know, you can take those little things and then eventually blossom them into relationships where you can get deeper in with people, and you can bring them the word, and you can, you know, speak over them and things like that. So
and really that follow-up, you know, we're going to have a meeting on February 22nd is our next conversations down at First Baptist of Brooksville. And I think that is one thing I might suggest to our, you know, to us, because really we need to be the ones, that group needs to be the ones to reach out to all those ladies that went and see if they've been able to, you know, develop their gift, or what have they done that made, you know, that stretched them to do their gift. So
You know, I'm definitely thankful for these kind of events where we can get together with women outside of our own church, like you were saying, just so that we have like a camaraderie of like, hey, you know, we're not in this alone. We're, you know, we're getting ideas from you, and you're getting ideas from us, and like it's more about God's word and, you know, His word spreading than, you know, about, oh, this church has to be better than the other church. Like our events are so much better than yours. We aren't going to share ours.
That's right.
You know, we want everybody to be able to bring people to God.
And we've talked more about doing some of that kind of stuff, you know, coming together and doing stuff. So cool.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For talking to us.
I know. So we have a couple more.
We do?
A couple more. We do. And I'm trying to think, one is administration. Actually, we have...
Not my gift.
No. Well, seat of your pants, is that a word that you've heard before?
A what?
By the seat of your pants? Fly by the seat of your pants? What's another word you use sometimes?
I say I'm winging life.
She's winging life. She's winging it.
There's nothing administrative in my life.
That is no... We are a lot alike, but that is one thing we are not alike. But we all survive because we all have gifts, and we walk them together. So But anyway, so.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll see. We'll see
See you
you
next time. See you later. Bye.